Welcome to another edition of That Green Vegans podcast. I'm Kelly. Hey. So today's topic is about road rage. I don't know what I'm going to name it, but I'll figure it out. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this because I had a situation happen today, where this lady, she was mad at me. It was crazy. So it was a lot of traffic. When I leave early, sometimes I just run into a lot of traffic. And so I know shortcuts, right? So I took a back street. But I guess I wasn't the only person thinking this because as I went down my little, shortcut, it was a bunch of people there too. So it was so much so that the turning lane was blocking. So just to give you a little visual. So it's like there's the turning lane, right, to turn at the light. But before the light, there's actually a turning lane to turn into the parking lot of like a little strip mall, right? So it was all the way back into the turning lane. So I didn't want to necessarily, block the turning lane because if there's someone's trying to turn in there. So I was kind of like, a little like on both sides, enough where people could get around me to turn into the strip mall, but then low key kind of blocking the lane. Now, mind you, it's a red light, so there's nobody could go. So all of a sudden I heard honk, honk, honk. Somebody's honking at me, and I'm thinking, okay, well, bruh, I can't. What do you want me to do? Because if I go into the actual lane, I'm not going to be able to turn at the light. You get it? You get it? Kind of thing. So I just kind of stood there. So eventually it started to kind of go up, right? The cars started to move up a little bit. And so I started to move up. The lady behind me who was honking at me, she got on the side of me. Not only did she flip me off, but she stuck her tongue at me. I'm going to tell you why I'm laughing at a minute. It was very hilarious, right? And I was just thinking today, like, ooh, she caught me on a good day. Because, I don't know, like, I'm the kind of person, but you know what? It made me think, like, I've grown. I've grown as a person because, old Kelly probably would have, like, I don't know, got out the car or, followed her. And you're like, Kelly would have followed her. Yes. I'm not proud of it. I'm just speaking my truth. So when I seen it, it kind of threw me off, to see this grown ass woman stick her tongue at me. So she goes around me, right? She's able to go around me. And so by that time, the light had turned green in my lane. And so I'm driving. And so I caught up with her and I stopped and I looked into her car and she's just looking forward. Excuse me. She don't have that same energy she just had a few seconds ago, right? That little voice just tapped me on the shoulder and said, let that lady live. She ain't, because she's stuck. She's stuck. She can't go nowhere, right? I'm like, child. But you know what? The reason why I bring this up, because I was her. I would have never, in a position like that, maybe. I've never stuck my tongue out at anybody before, but, I've flipped off. I flipped off people in my day. Not gonna lie. Like I said, I'm not proud of it. And the reason why I'm telling my truth because, it's here comes. I hear it. You hear it. You hear it. It's a story coming. So let's flash back. Oh, maybe 10 years ago. Maybe 10 years ago. A little longer, right? It was me, one of my girlfriends and her sister. We was taking her back to school from the Bay Area, and she went to school in LA. So we packed up my little car. We was driving right to LA. So we on the 5, and anybody know the 5? The 5 is just long and boring. There's no scenery. But it's the quickest way to get to LA. Kind of thing. So we're driving. No cars on the road. Like I said, no cars on the road. Out of nowhere, this Camaro comes up behind me, right? And he drives up, and she's on my tail, but I'm not going nowhere. I'm going the speed limit. We listen to music. I'm like, what the heck? So she comes around me, because I'm figuring like this: if you're speeding, right, and you see a car coming up, just go around and keep going, right? But no, she had to kind of slow down, whatever. So she comes on the side of me, because I'm driving, and there's nothing. It's just a two-way highway, right? And I'm in the left lane. So she's on my tail. I'm like, she got to be kidding. I just ignore her. She comes to the right of the car, right? She flips me off, and she keeps going. Now, as a matter of fact, I was in a rented car, because I was in a Mustang. Shout out to Chevrolet. No, not Chevrolet. I mean, my bad. Ford Mustang. So I'm like, oh no, she didn't. So she was in a Camaro. Shout out to Chevrolet. I was in a Ford Mustang. Shout out to Ford. So I'm starting to chase her. We're in speeds of 100 miles an hour, going down 5, just me and her, right? Everybody's in the car just like, I guess, I don't know if they're like stunned. I don't know. Actually, to just keep it a being, I wasn't paying attention to the people in my car, which is very hard. But it was like, rage can be contagious. It can be, right? But it's like it's like it wasn't dangerous. It was no other cars. It's still not okay. And I don't suggest this, but I chased that chick until I caught up with her, and I must have called her every name in the book but a child of God, and gave her the finger. I then at that moment felt like I felt vindicated. So I was driving, I slowed down, and I'm driving. I'm like, okay, I'm cool. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, this cop car came. Now, like I'm telling you, we're like in the middle of nowhere. Where this cop car come from, I don't know. But it came from the same place that other car came from. And it just went past me. So me and my girlfriend and her sister, we're laughing. Ha, ha, ha. That's what that bee get, right? Because remember, I'm feeling vindicated. That should be a title, vindicated. So we drive and we get close, and I see this like a truck, like a big gigantic truck, right? And it was like an underpass. So as we're going, all of a sudden this cop jumps out from in front of this truck, and it puts his hand out. So I stop the car, and he tells me to move over. So as I'm moving over, pulling over, because I didn't know what was going on, there's the chick that just had flipped me off. So I park, whatever, and I'm like, OMG, what the heck? So we're in the car, and I'm like, oh no. I guess he caught like 3 people. He should get a badge. Wonder Cop. Because he had 3 of us just waiting there to get tickets. So as soon as he comes to the car, I'm like, officer, she I'm he don't care. He don't care that she, he, he don't care that she flipped me off. At that moment, I knew I had a problem. I got a problem. They gave me the ticket. Now we're in, I believe it was Shasta County, which is hella far. It's like towards Bakersfield, which is hella far from the Bay Area. And so, gave him my ticket, whatever, da-da-da-da. We go to LA. I'm pissed. I mean, I have fun. I mean, I got some kind of joy, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But I was kind of low-key pissed, whatever, because I kept thinking about that situation. So, when you get a ticket, you're supposed to go to court, but it was just a lot of stuff going on. I didn't feel like driving back. So they said, well, the only option you have is to, write the letter to the court, and then they'll tell you what to do. I said, okay, cool. Because I knew, like, the way this cop was, this is RoboCop, right? The way this cop, I know he's going to show up. This is the thing. When I was younger, I would get a ticket. I would show up for court. 9 times out of 10, the cop wouldn't even show up. And then they just throw the ticket out, right? But I knew this cop would show up. And plus, it's like, there's nothing out there. So he ain't got nothing else to do, right? I digress. I write the letter. Eventually, I get a letter back from the court. And the court says, yeah, we've settled your case with the evidence that we have. You were going, I don't know, over 100 miles an hour or something. And when I seen the amount that I had to pay, I almost fainted. It was like it was over $900. I'm not quite sure how much, but I know it was over $900. My goodness. And what could I do? I had to pay it, right? I let someone take me out of my own body for what? So I ended up paying whatever, but that lives with me because, I think what happened, I think that really changed me as a person. So when I look back at that lady who was on 10 this morning, I laugh. Now, first of all, it's not worth my energy, my peace, And as a matter of fact, when I got to her and she was just looking forward, cause I know she see me, she feel me. I just put a little prayer hands. I'm going to pray for you. Karen, because obviously something is going on in her life. And I feel like when you're the bigger person and you're on a very, high vibration, it's like situations like that can't really hurt you. It's like, it doesn't affect you kind of thing. Because, when I had the situation with the road rage, I didn't have emotional intelligence. I did not. I did not. And when I was like, it didn't happen till like years later. But when I started practicing emotional intelligence, it gave me the tools, right, to control my emotions, to really dig down deep. Right. So now that I look back with the knowledge that I have, why did that bother me? Right. Because I couldn't let her feel like she got one up on me. I didn't want to come across looking weak, because that's what happens sometimes. Like, we care so much about what people think about us. Right. And this is a stranger. How dare she? First of all, she don't know me from a can of paint. Right. And that particular person, they got the wrong one, baby. Got the wrong one, baby. Now today with Karen, she got the right one. You know what I'm saying? She did the right person. Because, one day she's going to have that attitude and she's going to run to the wrong person. Now, old Kelly, I don't care if I'm going to work. She gonna regret that. But new Kelly, improved Kelly, you know what? I'll let it go. And with emotional intelligence, it kind of teaches you to I guess, wear the shoes of the other person, to think, to go deep, like, why would this person be like this? Did a situation happen to her before this situation, and she's just, it has nothing to do with you, but you just caught a stray. I do that all the time. Like, I remember I was telling somebody something, right? And somebody popped up, and then it's like, it seemed like I was talking to that person, and it was like a whole thing. But it's like, yeah, sometimes we catch a stray, um, you might wish somebody a good morning, and they give you a nasty look, and maybe they burnt their toast, or they came out with a flat tire, or they found out that, they didn't get the bonus, or, they broke their favorite mug. Who knows? Who knows? But that is what, in your mind, you have to think when you have emotional intelligence. Like, you have to kind of almost think for the other person, and you give them empathy and sympathy, no matter how nasty they are. You just don't go there, right? Now, back in the day, you go low, we go to hell. That was it. That was it. Maybe I'll call it that. Oh, I like that. But that's not the way to live, and you're just going to constantly just be crashing out for like no reason. Everybody do things for different reasons, right? I just was thinking about like the situation where there was this woman, she was driving like really crazy, right? And then someone got really upset and was like, that effort, da 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 da. And then come to find out, like, she just got a phone call that her daughter was in the hospital, that she got hurt. Like, I'm not saying that was going on with that Karen or whatever, because you wouldn't be acting like that, but you know how like sometimes people take things personal. So if a person is driving super fast and then another person get triggered and they're like, slow down, you a-hole, and you're flipping them off, all kind of stuff, but you don't know why that person is doing that. Maybe there was a situation where they was trying to leave the house and the road was blocked, and then they couldn't get out of that situation. And so they had to wait, and that made them late. And maybe they work at a job where it's like time sensitive, or maybe they have a boss that's like really horrible and will dock their pay, or maybe their job is in jeopardy. Like, you just don't know. So you just have to just give grace. Now, when people are like super nasty and just disrespectful, okay, that just may be their nature or whatever. It's like, it doesn't work all the time. But for the majority of time, like, say for instance, if somebody was mad at me, right, and someone yelled at me and told me off, whatever, I have to think to myself, they're may be lashing out at me, but it's not really me. It's the people in their past, right? It may have been somebody from their past that did them really dirty, that did them really wrong, right? And they just don't trust. So they kind of have this feeling like, and I've been told this by like caretakers and stuff, that sometimes people will test you because in their mind, everybody's going to leave them. So they just say, well, they're going to leave anyway, so let me just up one and kind of make it almost like kind of uncomfortable for them, so then they feel good. Because say, for example, you're in a relationship with somebody, right? And you love this person, and they was just like, oh my goodness, this person and I, we're just having this really great time, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then that person leaves, just gone, right? And then that you hold on to that trauma. So then the next person come along and you start, you're not really tripping, but then you start having those same feelings like, man, this is great. And then you go back to that feel like, wait a minute, that other person, when I was feeling like this with that other person, they left me. So I know this person's going to left me. So I'm going to treat them like crap because they're actually treating you the way they wanted to treat that other person. But that's where you get into the toxic relationships. And I just did a podcast about peace over people because you can't control people. You can't, and I was listening to a friend of mine actually, and she was talking about like a similar situation. And, I had to kind of, step back and listen to her and just say like, it's not you. You didn't do anything wrong. It's the other person. And they're fighting with their demons. And she said, well, I can't believe you just said that. She was like, I was feeling that. And I said, well, maybe it's validation. So I say that to say, you can't control what people do. All you can do is either accept it or not accept it. It's just that easy. So getting back to the road rage woman. I laughed, not at her pain, because obviously she was in pain, but I laughed because I used to be that person. And now I'm not. I leave my house early, and guess what? I go through life that's like, I can only control what I can control. I can't control the world. I can only control how I respond. And that's a little nugget that you should just put in your pocket. You can't control other people. You can only control the way you respond to that. Or respond to them. So I hope this brought some kind of clarity if you're going through this, if you're going through something similar to your life. Yeah. Sometimes you just got to give people grace. Because maybe you're the only person that have. And if no one's told you today that they love you, I love you. Mwah. Now what? Go out there and be great. Bye.